If you like the look of the high-end superbikes at this year's Tour de France, but don't fancy paying more than you would for quite a nice car, then this video is for you. Yep, we've rounded up some of the current deals of slightly more obtainable versions of these top-end road bikes that still have that Tour de France pedigree. Perhaps one of the more appealing things about professional cycling is that you can buy pretty much the exact same bikes as the pros. Take this specialized Tarmac SL8 for example. This S-Works version is ridden by the likes of Promoz, Roglic and Remco Evenepoel and could be yours for the price of a kidney. This expert model doesn't come with a SRAM Red or a Dura-Ace group set, but it does still get carbon wheels and an electronic group set. The frame also claims to be just as aero, just as stiff and just as compliant, the only difference being that it's 95 grams heavier. In other words, not much. Unless you are one of those pro cyclists searching for every marginal gain or live somewhere particularly mountainous, then chances are you won't be able to find any meaningful performance difference between the two bikes. The even better news is that it costs less than half as much. Okay, that's still not exactly cheap, but it is a hell of a lot less expensive than the range-topping model. The Van Rysel RCR has made its Tour de France debut in 2024 and has already kicked up plenty of fuss. The bike that the Decathlon AG2R riders use is £9,000, so while far from cheap and cheerful, it is a fair bit less than a lot of the alternatives in the peloton. We reckon we can do better than that though. How about this RCR priced at £4,500? It shares the same geometry as the Pro version and can still take up to 33mm tyres. It comes with Zip 303S wheels, Michelin Power Cup tyres and a SRAM Rival AXS group set. You'll be able to find our full review of this very bike, including its power meter, up on the road.cc website very soon. But in the meantime, you can find out more about how the RCR was developed using the link up there. Giant bikes are a bit of a staple in the modern Tour de France, and this year Team Jayco Alula will be switching between the TCR climbing bike and the Propel, Giant's aero bike. The top of the line Propel Advanced SL disc, Christ that's a mouthful, will set you back £11,999. So you might well decide to save yourself around 80% of that by dropping down to the Propel Advanced 2. It does have a mechanical group set, but you still get hydraulic disc brakes and a carbon frame that's ripe to upgrade. If you want to see lots more of the latest bike tech as well as money saving tips, then make sure you're subscribed to help out the channel and be first to see our new content. If you ask the road.cc staff what their favourite bike in the peloton is, then quite a few will answer the Cannondale Supersix Evo of the EF team. The bad news is that the range-topping Lab71 version will set you back £12,500. So instead, we quite like the look of this. A Supersix Evo 4 with Shimano 105 mechanical and DT Swiss R470 disc aluminium wheels. It's currently on sale for £2,400. Oh, and if you want to see our full comparison of the Lab71 Supersix versus the S-Works SL8, then click the card up there, or you can find a link down in the description below. This is the brand new 8th generation Madone that Lidl Trek will be riding at this year's Tour de France. Have a guess at how much it costs. And then have a guess at how much this one costs. We have this one in for a review. Yep, less than half as much. Obviously, £6,000 is still mighty expensive, the price of around 5 human eyeballs in fact, but it does still have the latest 12-speed Ultegra Di2, ISOFlow at the rear, and 51mm deep Bontrager carbon wheels. It's far from the cheapest in the range, but I think this is a great example of how you can save an absolutely shed load of money without actually compromising any meaningful performance. And that brings me on to diminishing gains, because I think that you can plot performance against price and it looks something a bit like this. To begin with, as you spend more, for example on carbon wheels and better frames, you can see quite a nice performance gain. However, as you spend more and more, this begins to tail off until you get to around this point, when you're basically pissing money into the wind. That's quite a crude way of putting it, but you get the gist. And our final pick is what to get if you desperately want a Pinarello like Team Ineos and Tom Pidcock but can't stomach a 5-figure price tag. This is the Pinarello F5, which borrows much of the top-end tech from the Dogma F, but at less than half the price. Pinarello fans will find the frame shape very familiar, but to bring the price down to a slightly more manageable £5,000, it's made from a different blend of carbon fibre and has a lower spec with Shimano 105 Di2 rather than the top-end Dura-Race Di2. Let us know which one of these 6 bikes you think is the best value, or which one you'd most like in your garage down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this content, then as always, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.